All right, something a little bit different today. I want to drive this truck. I'm currently in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at the Flying J, and I have this delivery, the load. It's going to Groton, Connecticut. I don't know, Groton probably, Connecticut. And so it's like 4.5 hours or so, roughly. But you can see this truck is not stock. It has 492,000 miles. It has 22x12s on 35s. And this was gonna be more or less like my daily truck, but I'm like, hey, let's give it a shot, let's tow it. Now, the reason it's squatting so bad is because it is reverse leveled, and so it just looks like that. The weight actually isn't bad. I just got a scale ticket earlier this morning. So let's jump in the truck, let's hit the road, let's see how this thing drives, let's see how this thing operates, and we'll know if we make it to the delivery or not real quick. I actually have my Ford backup right here. The old Ford is a backup, you can see that. And CP Steve Miller doesn't live far from here, so worst case scenario, I'm gonna call Steve, he'll jump into the truck and come rescue me. So that's the plan right now. Let's jump in this truck and let's hit the road. So here we are driving the Ram. Oh man, you know, I wish it was as fun as I make it out to be. It's really not. And that right there is the first thing. It's an insanely rough ride right now. Now, granted, the 22x12s does not help. I get that the 22x12s does not help. I understand. And so if I put normal tires, wheels and tires back on, I'm sure it'll be fine. However, it is a rough ride. Goodness gracious. Maybe that's just the price of looking good while you're hot-shotting. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, from the outside, the truck looks great. So, who knows? But that's the other thing, from the outside, inside, it's really loud. You can hear the whistle from the turbo, you can hear the exhaust. It's super loud, you know what I mean? So there's a muffler in there, but I mean, maybe double up on the mufflers, I'm not sure. But anyways, so it's really loud, it's uncomfortable. But then actually, to keep going, then this thing, the mirror, the lower mirror, I had to put some duct tape on it. During the painting process, the guy must like broke it or something. So yeah, I'll either have to get a new mirror or I'm not sure, but I had to tape it up just for now. Speaking of the mirrors, I got into this truck and I'm like, I can't see anything. These mirrors are so small compared to the Ford, it's ridiculous. And so I would have never realized that's the case, but yeah, they're small mirrors. I couldn't see, you know, it took me a while to I had to adjust them really well to make sure I can see back to where, you know, where my trailer is and whatnot. So yeah, that was interesting to go from the Ford to the Ram, and I think the Ford mirrors are just so wide compared to these like narrow mirrors. So that's an interesting observation. But the other thing is, I don't have a stereo. My stereo doesn't work. My power doesn't work, so I had to actually plug in my inverter, or not plug it in. I had to, like, you know, go connect it to the battery terminals. So I had to get my inverter out. And in general, this truck, you know, guys, it's a 493,000 mile truck. We literally just crossed over to 493,000 miles. So I mean, it's barely hanging in there, you know what I mean? It's surprisingly still good, you know, and it's powerful, but again, it's powerful because I'm running the 150 horse tune right now. Oops, I forgot to turn it down, so I can't use cruise control because I'm worried, you know, the turbo is gonna break something. Or I'm worried something's gonna break because the cruise control on these trucks is absolutely terrible. It's just like, I don't know how to explain how bad the cruise control is, but that's beside the point. I can't use cruise control, so my speed fluctuates, slow down, you know, hurry up. My transmission is original, 500,000 miles or almost 500,000 miles on the transmission. So that means I don't want to go to 6th gear because I don't want to lug I don't want to lug it. So I'm staying in 4th and 5th, and that puts me at like 2,500 RPMs or 19 to 2,000. And so I think that's a good spot. The higher RPMs, that's a safer play, I think. Safer RPMs, right? I mean, generally speaking, for a 500,000 mile truck, like 500 absolutely hard, towing, aggressive miles, it's not bad, you know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, this run that I'm doing Connecticut to Connecticut and back to PA, It's a test run more or less to see if I could put it back on the road. That's the question. Can I put this thing back on the road without it falling apart on me? You know, I'm gonna put the regular wheels back on, obviously. I'm not gonna, you know, keep doing 22x12s. That would make no sense. Tires are so expensive, it's insane. For the most part, I'm literally just trying to see if I can put this thing back to work full time. Now, does that mean I'm gonna turn in the lease? I don't know. I don't think so, because the lease is good to have as a backup, you know what I mean? You do the 5,000 miles on the lease and then you park it and then you go do this thing. But that would mean you have to have 2 trucks in the insurance. So that's what I'm gonna figure out. How expensive is it to have 2 trucks? What all the pros and cons. Really, I'm crunching the numbers, guys. And this is what happens when, you know, there's all this uncertainty in the market, right? And I mean, look at what's going on, right? I'm sure you're well aware of what the news is saying and all the stuff that's going on, right? Think about it. This is what it takes to, you know, make sure you don't go under. And that's my only job right now. Don't go under. That's my only goal, is do not fail, do not go under. And so I'm looking at all my options. I'm seeing what's the best thing to do for me, because at the end of the day, I don't want to fail. I don't want to close up shop. I like this job, I like this business, and I want to keep doing it. Just like that, I'm empty, I'm unloaded, I'm delivered. I've put a couple $1,000 in my pocket, so that's terrific. Now, as you saw on the dash cam footage, I suggested it, but I told them, I'm like, hey, they lifted it with the crane by the ends, and so if you lift it like that as well, you should have no issues, right? That's what I told them. And I was trying to be discreet, because I had no idea it was the Navy or a submarine base, so I had no clue. But I was trying to be discreet when unloading the second one. I recorded just a little bit, but I love our like service people, the Navy, the Air Force, the Army. I love all of them, you know what I mean? It's so cool, because those 4 guys, they just like, you know, hopped on it, challenge accepted. Very, very cool. So they got me in and out really quickly. And actually, as a matter of fact, the guys said they're only open till 1, and I showed up at like 3:15. so they stayed late for me, so I appreciate that. That was super cool of them. But yeah, like I was saying, they unloaded it from the ends, you know, with the forklift, so it worked out super well. Absolutely no issues. Now, as for this truck, okay, is it ideal to drive around a 500,000 mile truck and with 22x12s on 35s? Absolutely, it's not ideal. However, it goes to show you that, dang, this thing is reliable. You know, when I was in there doing tight turns, this thing still rubs. It's like, darn it, it still rubs right in here. And when I was backing in, it rubbed a little bit with that guy sitting in, you know, so it doesn't sound great when it rubs. That's not cool. But then I do need some airbags. I actually called Steve. I told him, hey, there's no need to come pick me up. The truck is doing great. And Steve sends me a picture that he got pulled over in Pennsylvania for his wheels on his dually pickup truck. They're sticking out too much. And I just drove through PA and didn't have any issues. I think I actually need a mud flap here too. So in reality, you know, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, it looks really awesome. However, it's absolutely not practical, okay? Absolutely not practical. And I delivered the load, it was problem-free, and I'm pretty sure I might put this truck to work. I'm pretty sure. Now, I still have to get back from the insurance, and hopefully they tell me good news, but we'll see, we'll see. Anyways, but as for the tires, by the way, you might be thinking, Alex, those tires are way too rubber band tires, whatever. You might be thinking that, right? And settle down before you write your comment. Here's the thing. Take a look at the ratings of this tire, okay? So here you go, 35 by 12 and a half, right? This is a 12-inch wide rim. It's 12 and a half wide tires, which this is all irrelevant. However, 35 by 12 and a half by 22, right? That's the diameter. Now, here's the important part. This is 12 ply rated tire, right? So there is no plies anymore. It's 12 ply rating. So that's a 12 ply rated tire, which doesn't mean much either. This right here is what you want to pay attention to. 126R. This is your load and your speed rating, okay? Now, it breaks it down somewhere else on the tire. Let me check right here. Okay. Oh, it's upside down though, okay? So take a look right here, upside down. I'll flip it, obviously. But look, max load, 1,700 kilograms, 3,750 pounds at 80 PSI, right? Cold. So 3,750 per tire. That means I can technically have, technically my tires are rated for 35 plus 35 would be 7,000. So 7,500, right? That's what these tires can handle. So before you go type in all your comments, understand, like when I was shopping for my wheels and tires, ideally I wanted a 33-inch tire, but I didn't find any 33-inch tires that had a load rating over 3,500 for my 7,000 pound rear axle, right? There wasn't any. So that's why I had to step up to a 35, and that's why I'm dealing now with all these rubbing issues. However, if I didn't do the reverse level and I just did a regular level, then I think I would have been better off. And that's what I think I'm gonna end up doing anyways. So who knows? But that's the breakdown on the wheel and tire setup. So understand that I did do my homework before just getting any wheel and tire setup. So yeah, so it's good. Other than that, you know, the truck is great. Time to put it back to work. There is a few minor things I want to do here and there. You know, like the power steering. I'm not sure if it's the wheels that are making it difficult or the power steering is going bad. I'm not sure. But that's something I want to take a look at. Then there's just a couple minor issues. However, the consensus is that I will be putting this truck back to work. It's just a matter of, you know, when it's ready. So that'll do it for this video. I look forward to your comments down below. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.